Have you ever been filming a one-way video interview, finished your response, and then found that you still had about 2 or 3 more minutes on the timer? That's super stressful. So in this video, I'm going to cover 4 things to consider when filming your one-way video interview and deciding if you need to keep talking or if your response is good enough and you should move on to the next question. So the first thing to consider is know how much time you have. This includes the actual preparation time and response time. If you practice answering the questions with different response lengths, so for example, you practice with a 1-minute response, 3-minute response, and a 5-minute response, that should help you really garner how much time you'll need in order to answer within that time limit. Lastly, make a mental note of when you're finished about halfway through the response. So say you have 4 minutes to record your answer. Notice at the 2-minute mark that, okay, I'm halfway through. Where am I at in my answer? Quality over quantity. You want to make sure that what you're saying is better than the length of time that you're saying it. So if you have a solid response and you feel like it's pretty good, just leave it at that. Move on to the next question, reserve your energy. Remember that the interviewer might not be watching your whole video interview, and so you want to make sure the beginning of your answer is the best component. A shorter answer might be preferred if you've answered every part of the question. You also want to be careful of the opposite problem in that if you're asked a really long and detailed question but only have 1 minute to respond, this might also cause a problem because you haven't carefully planned exactly how you're going to answer, and it can be tough to do that on the spot. You want to make sure you're using your prep time wisely. So if you have 30 seconds or a minute to prepare, it's worth strategically planning out exactly how you're going to respond. Use the STAR interviewing technique to just think about what story am I going to reference. And then you can even just use this time as a mental reset. So people often feel anxious about the pre-recording phase because they're scared they're going to forget what the questions asked, if they're going to forget what to say. But actually, you can just use this as a time to stand up, do a really quick stretch, and then dive into actual performance. If you like these tips and tricks, feel free to follow me on Master Your Interview with Madeline.